In this lab, we are using the school's virtual desktop. And so we're loaded into Windows. And from here, we're going to hit the Start menu. We're going to scroll down and we're going to look for Cadence Release 17.2-2016. We're going to click the drop down arrow. We're going to scroll down a little more until we see Capture CIS. And then we're going to click Capture CIS. Once we do that, this is going to pop up. We're going to have the first thing selected, which is Allegro PCB Design CIS-L. We're going to click OK, and it's going to load. After it's done loading, this is what we should get. We are going to open a new project. We can call it whatever we want. And we want to have PSpice Analog or Mixed A-D selected. And then we are going to want to save it somewhere. And we can click OK. After we do that, this should come up. We're going to leave everything the same, and we're going to click OK. Inside of here is PSpice, so that is what we're going to be using. And in the top menu, it should pop up once this loads. The virtual desktop that we are using is not very fast whatsoever. And we are now going to have this work environment. Now in here, what we want to do is go over to the spider part. We're going to click the spider part. In here, I want to open my libraries. And in this, we're going to be in the PSpice folder. And from here, what I'm going to want to do is just select all of these different .olb files. Once all of these are selected, I'm going to click open, and we have them all in here. Now we can search for the specific parts that we want to look for. And the specific parts that we want to look for is first a voltage. I'm going to type in VDC, and we can see that we have this voltage. All we need to do is click place part right here, and we get it like this. So we're going to place our voltage in here like this. I'm going to then type in the part resistor because we want resistors. We are going to have 3 resistors, so we're going to place the part again. We have this first resistor, and it's going to go up here. We have another resistor we want right here, and then lastly another one right here. We're going to click escape, and we're going to organize these a little bit better now. So I'm going to move this resistor up here. I'm going to right click and then rotate this resistor, and then do the same exact thing where I right click and rotate this one. Now this is pretty cool. We're going to drag this up here, and then we're going to drag this over here just so we have enough space. Now I'm going to click over here where it says place wire, and I'm going to click all of the different parts. That way our circuit can be connected to each other. Once I do this, I'm going to need a ground. So I'm going to click place ground over here. We want 0 and then 0 capsium. We're going to click OK. And we could just put this right here works. And then I'm going to press escape and then just pull this down just for spacing. From here, we're going to label some things. I'm going to make the voltage 5 volts. So we're going to double click this. We're going to add a 5 instead of a 0 and no space between the VDC. And this is what we're going to look like. I'm also going to rename this voltage to be VS2 and press OK. Earlier in the lab, we were given 3 different resistors. For this R1, it's actually going to be R3. This R2 is actually going to be our R4. And this R3 is actually going to be our R5. Now, for our R3, we are going to have the resistance of 1.980 kilo ohms of resistance. So we're going to write this in here. And for the R4, we're going to have 1.000 kilo ohms of resistance. And then for our R5, we are going to have 2.970 kilo ohms of resistance. So now that we have all of this sorted, all we want to do now is find the currents I3, I4, and R5. To do this, we are just going to press the Run PSpice button right here. It's going to run it, and this will happen. Sometimes there's going to be a little menu down here that has to pop up, and you have to click OK and stuff. But after you do that, this is going to happen. If you want to see the voltages, you click the V. And if you want to see the power in work, we're going to have this right here. We can unclick it to hide those. And we've gotten the current. So this is the current for each of the specific resistors. And that's how we would go about setting this up in PSpice.